All right, now you're ready to do your oil change. First, pull your dipstick. Make sure your car's either a quart of oil low or drain a quart of oil out of it so you can put your flushing agent in it, which in our case is going to be kerosene. All right, now that you've checked it, wiped it off, done all that necessary stuff, made sure it had oil in it, do what you need to do to make sure it doesn't have 1 quart of oil in it. Now we see we're a quart low. So now it's time to get our flushing agent, which is kerosene. This is a trick taught to me by an old mechanic, and it works on every one of my cars. Works very well. Anytime you get a used car or old engine that looks like this, I always do this too. It always cleans it out great. It was great after. So pour exactly 1 quart in. No more, no less. You want it to be at the full line of your dipstick after you pour this quart in. So, right there to the bottom. Now put your cap back on. Now that everything's all closed up, you're going to want to check this oil and make sure it is at the full line. Not over the full line, not under the full line, because you are going to run this car all the way up to operating temperature for 10 minutes. So you don't want it to have less oil than it should have in it. You do not want it to have more oil than it should have in it. All right, now just get in after you do that. Crank the car up, let it run for 10 minutes. While it's running, it's going to be a good time to jack your car up. Go by the pinch weld. This car is easier to access the drain plug on the passenger side of the car, so that's the side of the car I started at. Now I'm going to jack it up at the jacking point, which is the pinch weld. You're also going to want to put a jack stand under there so you don't get crushed. Getting crushed isn't fun. Now, to loosen your drain plug. Loosen it up. It's pretty self-explanatory. Drain that oil. You want to make sure everything is out of there. I mean everything. You don't want any kerosene left in your car. You don't want any dirty oil left in your motor. You want to get rid of all that crud. That's what you're doing now. So let it sit for a little while. Now pull your filter off. This also holds oil that you do not want in your car. We will be changing this also. Now let's get your new filter. Now, after changing a lot of oil filters and oil changes, this is a cool trick that I guess a lot of people probably know, but a lot of people probably don't. You want to take that little O-ring off of your oil filter. I'll show you right now. You want to give it a light coat of oil so it seals against your engine. You want a good seal so it doesn't leak. If it leaks, your fresh oil will go on the ground. You've just wasted money. Everybody likes money. Nobody likes to waste it. All right, now that you're done with that. Oh, you thought I was going to pour it that way, but I didn't. Make sure you pour it this way, a ton easier. You won't spill it everywhere. Another trick. You want to put oil in it so it doesn't have air in it when you start it. So fill it up a little bit with oil. Before you put it on, you're going to want to put your drain plug on so that oil out your filter doesn't run onto the ground. So we're just going to stick it on by finger tight. Now you're going to want to get your wrench and very lightly put pressure. Enough to snug it up. Even though I have a long ratchet, I am not using a lot of pressure. I choke up on the ratchet and put ever so slightly about 10 foot-pounds of torque or so. Do not over-tighten this, so it will never come back out. You will have a big problem. You do not want a big problem. All right, now that your drain plug is sealed up, screw your oil filter on so your good oil doesn't run out onto the ground. Do not over tighten that, or you will have a bad day next time you go to take your oil filter off. All right, now you can jack your car up enough to pull your jack stand out. All right, now you can lower your car. Now that that's done, you're going to want to put all the oil back in your car. So fill it up until it is to the fill line. Exactly. This car takes 5 quarts of oil. So then you want to pull your dipstick. Oh, look at that. We have oil in the car. Make sure you check it. Make sure it's at the fill line. It might not be, so add oil. Once you've added it, pull it again and check it again and make sure it's at the fill line. If it is, you are now done. So put your dipstick back in. Now drop the hood on that puppy and burn some rubber. Have a good day.